So welcome to another video from theplayersaid.com. My name's Alexander.
And I'm Grant.
And today we're taking a look at Border Reivers, finally, from GMT Games. This is a game which is from our Shelf of Shame dust-off, which might be news to you.
No, that's fine.
That's
We've adopted the approach that we're just going to play the games that are on our shelf, not necessarily call out what we're going to play.
It's a little loose this year.
Yeah, we'll just play whatever.
But we've got to quite a few, so I'm pretty happy about it.
We've played at least 5 or 6.
So Border Reivers came out a few years ago, came out in 2022, and it was a game that we had a demo of, and I think we played the whole of turn 1, maybe?
I think we got into turn 2.
Okay. Well,
I think we got into it, but we did not finish it.
We played about a turn and a half of this at WBC that year?
It was 2023.
It was 23, okay.
Yeah. And what happened, I think we didn't quit on it.
No.
I had to quit because I was sick, and I ended up being in the hospital.
Yes.
For the rest of WBC.
And it was neat.
Not because of the game.
Yeah. And, we were being taught by Ed Beach, who designed this, Ed Beach of Here I Stand fame.
And Great Battles, or GCACW, Great Campaigns of the American Civil War.
He does a lot of that. And we were playing it, and it was great because we had, a 45-minute introduction where he talked about, how the game came about, and his travels to this region, and, the places he's been, literally from the front cover, and, he was showing all those guys, at the historical places in the museums, and we got so much additional flavor, which is, a lot of it's in those designer notes, but it's not the same as hearing it from the horse's mouth.
That was amazing. It was long. Ed can talk, right? I'll tell that to him because we had breakfast with him a couple of times. He can talk. It was cool. I wish we had turned the video on and captured it because it was that interesting.
And I didn't know it was going to be that, otherwise I would have done.
Yeah.
But next time.
Yeah.
So we had kind of played around with it. We played it, a turn or two, and then we never got back to it. And so we took it to WBC. We've taken it to a couple other places.
We have, yeah.
But this year, we sat down with 4 other guys, and we sat down and we played it. And when I say 4 other guys, this is something really important to know about this. This is a 4-player game, or it is a 6-player game.
You can't do 3, you can't do 5.
And you wouldn't want to do 2.
No.
And you, even with 4, you still want to play with 6, I think.
Well, it's like Here I Stand. You can play Here I Stand with 3 or 4 guys.
Yeah.
But it's just not the same thing. You want a full boat. It's just the way it was designed and the way it's going to be the best.
Yeah, I think you get the best experience out of it. So this is a game about I don't even know how I would describe this.
Well, it's basically the border skirmishes between the Scots and the English.
But it's not even official skirmishes between them. It's more
it's piracy.
It's like
on land.
It's the families
Feuds,
fighting each other and
stealing the sheep,
rustling,
cattle, yeah,
and just generally.
These are sheep, by the way.
Yes,
these are sheep. They're cattle.
Livestock wrestling.
Yes.
But yeah, right, and they're just being a nuisance to each other, trying to get the most fame, prestige, notoriety is what they call it.
Yeah.
So that you can be the biggest warden around and you can win the game.
Yep.
That's where it's making a name for yourself in this very nebulous region where the borders would be fought over and there were other pitched battles and genuine wars going on.
Yeah.
And so that's also something that you can get involved in. There will be hey, here's the battle of whatever it is, and you can commit to that and go fight in that to win victory points that way. But if you're doing that, you're not stealing people's sheep, which there's a ton of victory points for stealing people's sheep.
100%.
So there's lots of different things.
And I also think it's important to understand that while the game is Scottish versus English, you can literally raid your neighboring.
And you will want to.
You will want, because you only have, you can't keep hitting the same people over and over again.
Yeah, that's right.
The way your cards work, These cards are specifically tied to these different areas, and you're sometimes going to be raiding your neighbor, even though he's Scott as well, right?
Yeah, because
And-
you still want to be the best Scott.
Yeah, so it's just a very unique historical setting.
Yeah.
I think it's a very unique historical time. I don't know that I knew anything about this
No, nothing.
until this game was announced on P500 about 5-6 years ago, and I started reading up on it. But the game, to me, historically, is very, very interesting. Never played anything on it, never heard another game about it, never heard anything about the history until this.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons I do enjoy this game, is because it taught me some new things about a different period of history.
Absolutely. Now, the thing to bear in mind in this game is this really sits in a space where is it a war game, is it not?
It is 100% a Euro, with some war elements.
I'm inclined to agree.
Yeah.
Now, you could fight about that all you want in the comments. There are some mechanics that feel very war gamey,
100%.
and you will go and attack each other. But what you're trying to do isn't the same as like a war game.
You're trying to score victory points, and victory points come from a number from raiding to fighting in wars to capturing your enemy marches, guys, putting them in jail, breaking your guys out of jail.
But that's more of what it is, right? Like a raid isn't a raid like a Saxon raid. A raid is, I'm going over to your land to
Yeah.
steal your sheep.
Yeah.
Because the sheep are a source of economy.
They're valuable.
I'm literally going over there. You have little sheep meeples.
Yep.
I'm attacking you
Sheeples.
to try to take those to put in my
Yep.
land. Then I have the sheep, you don't have the sheep, I got a bunch of points.
Yep.
If I mess up my raid roll, I might, instead of me capturing all your sheep, you might like capture me. Like you literally like get in handcuffs a guy and he goes into the jail, and then I have to break him out Robin Hood style.
Hand me one of the player boards, because I was gonna, before I make this comment, I wanted to verify.
These are the player aids.
Yeah, I wanted the board just to, because the number of sheep you have determine
Yes,
the number of the hand size of your
and your horse limit
Yeah.
and your
Yep.
cattle income as well.
So that's why the sheep part of it, building your flock and having as many of those as possible, not only will they score you VP at the end of the game, if you are not getting up to where you have 7 or 8 or 9, you don't have enough horse,
Yeah.
which help you in raids and wars.
You don't get enough cattle income,
Yep.
which is your money.
That's how you buy cards and stuff, and then you don't have as many cards to deal with. So it's all tied together. So in essence, this is an economic Euro
Yes.
dressed up with some skirmishing and some battling and some raiding, and then fighting in pitched battles, but they're just represented by cards.
Yeah,
right?
which
You
is just
throw your-
committing to a little card.
Yeah. So it's ultimately it is about scoring victory points through the economic process of building up your farmstead. That's what it is.
And then the other quite Euro style thing is that, and you already touched on this, you have a deck of little cards.
Yep.
And you will pick one of these to play, and from what it says on the card, you can target this place, or this
Yep.
place. And the way that they're set up, you effectively have 6, and there are 6 rounds.
Yep.
You'll play 2 in each turn. So you must play all of them. And what that does is it forces you to spread your attacks out against everyone.
So you're not ganging up on the same person.
So you lose that element of mean-spiritedness. Sometimes you're forced to attack someone, you're like, sorry, gotta do it.
Yeah.
But it's never like all 4 of us are dogging on this one guy for 6 turns.
Yep.
You literally cannot do that. And so that also is kind of that step back from what wargamers are used to, where
Yep.
we just like wailing on each other. This makes it a little bit more palatable for that Euro crowd.
In my opinion, a lot of Eurogamers are conflict averse.
Yeah.
And they don't want to be picked on. They want to literally be left alone to build up their economy and their machine. And I get that. That's fine. This game tries to break away from that by having these attacking elements, but also limits it so you can't dogpile the same person.
And so the only way to build your economy in this game is to attack people.
Yes.
But it spreads it out, so
Yep.
it's less mean-spirited.
Yep.
That's the reality
But
of it.
the truth of it is you're going to get attacked 2 or 3 times every single round.
Yeah.
Because there's 6 players, if you're playing 6 players.
Which you should do.
And they've all got the same, is it 7 cards total?
I think there's 7 cards, but one of them's like
One of them's
a wild
wild
card, and one of them's their
Well,
warden.
I think
which
the
is
warden is the defensive,
That's the
right?
defensive one. So
But
that's
it's
like 5 and then the wild.
so you're going to get attacked 6 or 7 times during the entire game. But it's going to be broken up. It's just the way the game kind of
and
works.
it's like sometimes they're trying to steal your sheep. Sometimes they're trying to break out someone that you captured from jail. Sometimes you won't get attacked because they're all committing to these other battles.
Yep.
So there's just fewer things going on. You might get away with it for a turn.
Yeah.
And then the other thing on top of that, and this is the bit of the game that I actually really liked, is
I think this was actually the best part of the game.
is all of this stuff.
Yeah.
So there is this whole card drafting element to this game. And
it's a round robin style card drafting.
Big thing, 7 wonders, lots of players, card drafting. You are trying to draft allied grains, reavers, wardens, offices, and then there's like the blue and green cards, which are like, some of them you hold on and they're like events for battles.
Or they
and
give
things.
you resources.
Yeah, or it's like immediate resources during that phase. And so that is a huge portion of the game, is getting all that stuff. You do that 3 times. So in each turn, you do 1 big card draft, and then you'll do like 2 kind of event phases where you're fighting. And then you go to turn 2, and you'll do another one, 2 event phases after that, and then turn 3 is the same thing. This is half the joy of the game.
Oh, it's great.
You get a lot of history with the great images and the different people who are historical figures.
Yep.
But also, like, this is where, like, oh, you're getting some stuff here, or, ooh, this ability is really strong, I want that. And this guy plays off of this guy. So if I can draft this guy and have this guy together, I get double bonuses.
Yep.
But then, like, oh, this guy's thinking the same thing, so he's got the other component of that, and I've got this one, like,
And it's, to me, the building out of your card is fantastic, but I've got these 7 cards to choose from. 4 of those are really good. 2 of them are extremely good. What do I take?
Yeah, or like someone's like, oh, you get a bonus if you're Scottish. Well, I'm English, I don't really care. So some of it's like, I just move on.
But it's so fun to me. It reminds me so much of the card-driven game mechanic, where I have to choose, not in a drafting style, but I have to choose how to play my cards to maximize them without hurting myself or giving. The guy next to me, I realize, oh my gosh, this card's really good for him. Do I draft that to keep it away from him? He might be in the lead.
Yeah.
Or do I say, you know what, you can have that because this card's really good for me? I love those choices.
And I think, like all drafting games, turn 1, it's kind of like trying to get the best stuff you can.
Yeah.
And in turn 2, you're now established. I've got victory points. I've got all my land set up. I've got a bunch of stuff on my display. Now it's easy for me to look at, like, okay, what plays off of what? What was really strong? What do other people's abilities have that I need to, like, negate or take advantage of?
Yep.
Where the drafting gets better the further into the game you go as well, which I always like that part.
Well, the building concept really is there. And I like your comment about guarding against others' abilities. One of the things I also thought was very cool about this game is you can build like sheepholds that protect your sheep and make it that much harder for them to raid. And you can build your castles, because that then defends the areas that it touches, and it touches 2 or 3 areas. I think that stuff is fascinating, because then you have to decide, okay, I've got 6 sheep and I got to put them in my 5 spaces. Where am I going to double up? Because that becomes a real target, right? They're going to see that and they're going to go, well, I'm going there because I can potentially roll really well and get 2 sheep. And then you've got to decide, okay, I want to protect those.
Yeah.
I think that kind of stuff in the Euro style of game is what I enjoy about Euro gaming.
And it also gets into that less mean-spiritedness. Like, if you want to play mega defensively, you can absolutely do that, right? You build your castles and keeps. You build those sheep bastles to lay your sheep down. They can be bopped for victory points, but they can never take them away.
Yep.
And that stuff that's like pretty much
powerful.
permanent. So you can negate a lot of the like mean stuff that can happen to you, but that's a choice. You're playing defensively doing that, and you're not being aggressive. And so, or I can get a bunch of aggressive cards where like, yeah, I might lose some stuff, but I'm going to gain a ton more, and that net difference is going to come out as a positive for me.
Yeah.
So there are lots of different things to like in this game for sure. I enjoy the different types of things that you can do and how different they are and how they feel. So there's a raid, feud, jailbreak, and battle. It's basically 4 different types of attacks.
Yeah.
And those all have, well, they all have defenses, but each one of those is adjudicated very differently. You calculate the dice for those differently.
And those dice come from a whole bunch of things.
Yeah.
Cards that you have, your Reivers and your grains, they'll all add.
Horses you might commit.
Horses you throw in your
cards.
So ultimately, you're going to build like 7 or 8 dice.
And it's a bucket of dice.
And then you're rolling them looking for basically 4s, 5s, and 6s. 5s and 6s are the best.
Ideally, 5s and 6s, 3s and 4s can score you sometimes. And then on defense, you're looking for 5s and 6s.
Yeah.
And you typically will not have as many dice on defense. It's very rare to have any.
You'll have 3. Maybe.
And so that should, and everyone knows that going into it, right? That's something you have to know, that like this is also a game of like you will take, and everyone else will take, and generally speaking, everyone's going to come out reasonably even over the course of the game.
Yeah.
Like on aggregate, because it's not like I can defend really well, and you can't attack very well, and so you get nothing, and then you get attacked and lose everything. That's quite rare.
Yeah.
It just the way that the numbers work in this game, it's set up where
the aggressor has more dice.
It's like hungry hippos.
Yeah.
Everyone's take.
Yeah.
But I enjoy how different those types of actions were. Well, building a dice pool and rolling the dice. But like a 5 and a 6 in a raid do a different thing from a 5 and a 6 in a battle. And they do a different thing from a 5 and a 6 in a feud and a jailbreak. And so it's fun that there's a lot of differentiation. What that means is there's quite a lot of rules overhead though.
Well, and it I think one of the greatest detriments to this game is it takes a long time to play.
Agreed.
This is on your first play, 3.5 hour game.
If you're lucky.
Maybe 4. On your second play, it's probably going to be a 3-hour game. And I'm not sure it's ever going to get much lower than that. Because there's so much going on, so much referencing. And these are great player aids, but you got to reference these every time for every different action.
And you have to, because there's so many different actions, and there is a lot of intricacy in all of those, and the attacks and the defenses function very differently, and like, you don't want to mess it up, because the difference between like a couple of victory points here and there makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
And so you really have to be accurate and really careful with things. You know, the rules are like, hey, you can do all of like the combat adjudication and calculations
at the same time
simultaneously, and they give you these little counters so that you can count up all your dice on your own, which is fine, but also that requires every single person to know the rules and to memorize them.
And it's interesting, both of our plays, we actually did them singly because we wanted to make sure everybody got it right. Right?
But because there's so many rules, especially for a Euro game, it is unrealistic to have expected everyone to have memorized all the rules and to be proficient at remembering them.
Right.
So I don't think there's a realistic way for you to get that down.
Pretty hard.
To do that simultaneously. So resolving 6 attacks 5, 6 different times takes a long time.
Oh, yeah.
It just does. And then you've got card drafting 3 times between
which
that.
Takes a long time.
Which takes a long time.
Yep.
It's great,
it's
but
fun.
It takes a long time.
Yeah.
And that's, I think you are correct in that is the knock on the game.
Yeah. It advertises here 2 to 4 hours. So 4 hours, and I think 4 hours is going to be your first game. It really is. If you do 6 players, it's going to be a very long game.
And that might be at least for your first game.
I'm not sure you're ever going to get it down to 2, but maybe there's groups out there that have played this 10
Maybe
times.
if you're playing it with 4 players and
Yeah.
they're very experienced, you could do 2.
But that, to me, is the one downfall to it. We played it at WBC. I think we started at like 8:30, and we finished around noon, and we really didn't finish the game.
Yeah.
I think some other people had an event they had to go to, and I think we decided after 3.5 hours that we were just going to call it. I think we were done with turn 2.
Yeah, we did 2 full turns, which is 4
turn
action
3,
rounds. And
very long.
And I think that's the thing is, we had seen what it was.
Yep.
We know what it is, and what we had done was enjoyable enough, and it was like, we can do this for another hour.
Yeah.
It was kind of, which is a little bit sad, but also like that's
Yep.
the thing with the game. It is long.
Yep.
And effectively, it's a Euro game, and there's a lot of downtime.
Yes.
Like you'll be defending and attacking a lot, but there's a lot of time where you're not.
Yep.
And trying to do all those things concurrently requires a lot more input than most game groups in
Yeah.
reality are going to
Yeah.
have. A lot of games, it's like 2 or 3 people are interested, and we're kind of like dragging along 2 or 3 other people.
Yeah.
And this is a game where if you want it to be fast, everyone's got to be on top of it.
Well, and I think if you want it to be fast, you're going to have put in 3 or 4 plays to make it fast. It's just not something that comes naturally.
And
there's a lot going on.
Yeah, and getting a game like this down to that requires a lot of dedication, a lot of people
Yeah.
coming back. And so you have to love it. And if you love it,
Yeah.
you don't care about the length of the game.
Very true. And it's interesting. I would say I really like this game. I very much had a good time with this game. My only drawback is the 3 to 4 hour play time.
Yeah.
It's a lot. I'm not sure but I do want to play it more. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I surprised myself.
Yeah.
And I think I like Euros better than you do. You absolutely
Sure.
detest them.
Yeah, they're just not, it's not really for me typically.
If they're a good theme and a good process like drafting and some of this stuff, I would play this again.
This is the kind of Euro I would like, where like, it's not building an engine and like just working an engine, and it's very mechanical, because there's lots of jockeying and lots of back and forth with everyone, and I really like the card drafting. Generally, card drafting is just real fun. But
bidding and card drafting to me are excellent.
I think those are 2 things I love. But
Yeah.
I think the length of the game was such a detriment that there's not
Agreed.
enough here for me for that long. If you could make this, if this was an hour and a half, 2 hour
2 hour game,
or
I would play
less,
the heck out of this.
Probably, but it's too long and it's too unwieldy for me personally.
And I get that, and I share some of that sentiment, but I still like what is going on so much. I would play this again.
Yeah,
I really would.
I don't like the pace of this game.
Got it.
It's too slow.
And that's fair. That's a fair criticism. My guess is those that are watching this and who enjoy this game would probably agree with that sentiment.
Ed even calls out like, hey, to speed it up, you can do this, this, and this. And it's like, I don't practically see that being reasonable.
Yeah.
And they give you components to do that. And different Ed, who played in the game, was trying to do this and was trying to do his calculations on his own.
Yep.
He was the only player doing it. But like he was trying.
He was messing it up a lot too.
But that's just
I love Ed,
he would do it.
He was messing it up
And
bad.
then we would still pause and go through it because he was like, I want to make sure I'm doing it right. And you're like, that's great. I love the enthusiasm, but that defeats the whole point of doing it concurrently.
Yeah, and what we're referencing here, these are these little counters, and they literally have dice symbols on them.
Yeah.
Right? And there's all types. There's even single ones.
Yeah, there's a set for every of the 6
every
player
color.
colors.
And you're literally going to look at your cards. You're going to go, okay, I get 4 from that one. I get 3 from that one. I get 1 for that one. I get 1 for that. I have 9 dice. And you're going to add those up because they didn't give you enough dice for everybody to build your own pool. Now, you could go out and buy the color.
Like, I've calculated all my dice for my attack that I'm going to do.
I've calculated mine. Boom. And I thought that was cool. It's just, I'm not sure that we were comfortable enough that we could trust ourselves to do that.
But everyone has to be comfortable enough.
Yes. one player not comfortable enough really will throw off the balance.
It just slows it down.
And will really slow it down.
And and I think that's kind of where I'm at with this game, is that
Yeah.
for the length of it, the payoff just wasn't there for me. There are some things I really like about
fair.
this game, but I think if I'm going to spend that long doing something, there's other games that I think I would prefer to do.
Yeah.
Which is a bummer, because some of it, like the card drafting,
Yep.
rooting through those abilities and the different guys and being like, ooh, this guy.
The synergy.
Love that
yeah,
stuff.
to me, that synergy
So
between the
fun.
different guys is very unique and interesting.
And then you get to play it out, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna roll a ton
Yeah.
of dice, and like you're like doing this little attack, and all of a sudden you're like, yeah, I'm rolling a fistful of dice, and they're like, ooh, boy.
Oh, yeah.
And you
Yeah.
roll really well, and you get a
Yep.
ton of points. And it's like, yeah, that's
Well,
awesome.
and it's so cool when you do a successful raid, and it's so good that you end up capturing a couple of family members of the guy you were raiding.
Yeah.
It's just so unique.
and
And,
then
then you throw them in jail.
And then you take all of their sheep, and
Yeah,
you're like,
it's just
oh, I
so
don't have
cool.
anywhere to put these.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you're like spreading them out, or you
Yep.
put them all in one safe space,
Yep.
and then like, well, big old target for next
Yep.
round, and everyone dogpiles that
Yep.
space and takes all your sheep back. Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of really cool stuff in there.
Yeah,
but it's just so long.
I would say, once again, I very much enjoyed it. I liked what it was trying to do. My only concern is the length. If that could be cut down to even 2.5 to 3, I would be all in on this game. But that being said, I would play this again tomorrow if we got 6 guys together, because I did enjoy it. So we are of a different mind, and that's fine.
I wouldn't, yeah.
We don't disagree a lot, but I think we do disagree about this game.
Yeah, I would. There's other games I would play. That's all.
Sure.
Because and it's the length. I think there's not
Yeah.
the payoff for how much I'm investing, both
And that
in a very long rule book,
Yeah.
and the time to play.
And that's saying a lot, because we play
Yeah.
Here I Stand once or twice a year. That's a 7 to 8 hour game.
Yeah,
We play Virgin Queen, 7 to 8 hour game, once or twice a year.
but I hope that also then contextualizes
Yes.
what I think about it, and that is
Yeah.
this is just my opinion.
So
Like,
it's not-
I will happily dump
Yeah.
in like 10 hours to Here
Yep.
I Stand, because I love it.
Yes.
People who love this will happily put in the length of
Yep.
time it takes to
Agreed.
play it. It's just it just doesn't it didn't hit for me. That's
Yep.
all. Sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah. The other thing I would say about this, the production value of this is really off the charts.
Oh, I mean,
From
meeples
the
galore.
meeples to the cubes to the board itself, very attractive. This is a typical GMT product where it's high quality everything, cards. So when you pay, I think this is a $70 or $80 game easily.
I think that
It might be a little
may have been
more.
the P500 price. Yeah.
You're going to get a game that's worth it. Now, you're going to have to decide if the game is for you ultimately and your group. I would think if you like economic driven Euro style games that have confrontation, because you're not turtling.
And it's not even that it has confrontation; it is
Well,
confrontation.
yeah.
Right. You must do conflict.
Don't play this with the group that doesn't ever want to fight,
Yeah.
because they will not enjoy it. But if you can find the group that likes that type of you love card drafting, you love building, this is for you. I really think it's a great game. I honestly think this is a great game. Just needs to be a little shorter.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to make it shorter,
No.
other than to everybody be implicitly clear with the rules and everybody just rips through it.
Or you just like, we're playing it 4-player.
But I want to play at 6. I don't want to have 2 things cut off.
Yeah.
There's 6 marches on here. I want to
But
play
if
all
you
of them.
if you designed it as a 4-player game and there was only 4 families in
Sure.
it, and it played in 2 hours, you'd probably have me on board.
Agreed.
I think is the case.
But I very much enjoyed the game. I very much did. And it makes me sad a little bit, because I know while this game will be in my collection, we probably won't ever get it played again. And that makes me a little sad.
Well, you just have to play it when I'm not there. That's all. And
Yeah,
I
but-
won't be at WBC next year. So
Well,
take it and play it.
maybe I will. Maybe. But anyway, I enjoed it.
Play it in my absence.
I very much enjoyed it.
Border Reivers, some GMT games. If this sounds like it's up your alley, then go and check it out. But appreciate you very much for tuning in. I've been Alexander for PlayersAid.com.
And I'm Grant.